Wait a minute. Steve Carell was in this movie? Really? I didn't even know. I didn't even recognize him. I'm serious. Anyway, hey there guys, what's up? It's Autobot Mike 18 here with another movie review. Guys, in this video I'm going to be reviewing a film that, like many limited releases, came out several weeks ago. Luckily, I did get a chance to see this film earlier than anticipated, a few weeks after its initial limited release. And the movie I'm going to be talking about in this video, guys, today is Foxcatcher. That's right, guys. Foxcatcher opened in the same independent theater that I'm so grateful I found. That it's the same theater that got Boyhood, Birdman, Whiplash, and now Foxcatcher. I've seen all 4 of those films this year at that indie theater, and I thank the Lord for that theater, or else I wouldn't get to see these movies, and I'd be really, really upset. Anyway, guys, Foxcatcher is a film I was definitely looking forward to, mainly due to the fact that it's been getting a lot of Oscar hype. It's been getting hype for its performances, and when I watched the trailer, I told myself, yeah, this is going to be a pretty interesting movie with some really, really solid performances. It is directed by Bennett Miller, who you may know him for directing two other films that have been also critically acclaimed. Capote, starring Philip Seymour Hoffman, and Moneyball, starring Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill, most recently. And this is the first Bennett Miller film I'm actually watching. I haven't seen Capote or Moneyball, but I have seen Foxcatcher now. And it stars Steve Carell, Channing Tatum, and Mark Ruffalo. And apparently, the people of the Cannes Film Festival were so blown away by the film that Bennett Miller actually won the Best Director Award at the Cannes Film Festival. And so that's pretty big news. So that tells you that this film's got some power. It's got some 3 very strong A-list actors in the leading roles. But 2 of the actors who aren't in movies like this, you know, dark dramas. And those 2 actors, of course, I'm talking about Steve Carell and Channing Tatum. Even Mark Ruffalo isn't in movies that are dark like this. So everyone was wondering, are they going to pull off these roles right? What's going to happen? And now all is revealed. So guys, I'm going to get into the plot of the film, and then later on I will get into my thoughts and, of course, my score. So guys, Foxcatcher is actually based on a true story. Basically, the whole movie tells the tale of the relationship between the Schultz brothers, Mark and Dave. Mark, played by Channing Tatum, Dave, played by Mark Ruffalo, and their relationship with the multimillionaire philanthropist, John Du Pont, played by Steve Carell. So the movie starts off, and our main focus, the character that the movie focuses on, is Mark Schultz, especially for the first half of the movie, I'd say. And then the focus sort of goes towards Dave Schultz, Mark Ruffalo's character, and of course John Du Pont is a major character throughout the whole entire film. But Channing Tatum's character, Mark, is an aspiring wrestler. He's actually won an Olympic gold medal for wrestling a few years prior to the setting, to when the film picks up. And he is then taken under the guidance and the mentorship of John Du Pont, played by Steve Carell. He's asked to come to Foxcatcher Farms, which is basically John Du Pont's estate. And John Du Pont is acting as a wrestling coach. He coaches several men who are aspiring wrestlers, and he takes Channing Tatum under his wing, basically. And meanwhile, you have Channing Tatum's brother, Dave Schultz, or Mark Schultz's brother, Dave, who is at first hesitant to join Foxcatcher Farms and meet up with Mark, but eventually he's going to play a bigger part into the story. And the film basically follows this relationship that Mark, Dave, and John have with each other, and how it eventually just crumbles and crumbles into what will become nothing, and what will become a very twisted and dark story. That is what their relationship transcends into, and that is the story behind Foxcatcher. Now, I gotta say, guys, like I said, I was definitely looking forward to this film. I was looking forward to it for the performances, and I was really hyping it up because I knew it was getting hyped because of Oscar season and all that. And after having watched it, I gotta say, although the film is not what I thought it was going to be, I honestly thought it was going to be darker. I thought it was going to be bigger than it actually was. And although it let me down slightly, this has got to be one of the best acted films of the year, in that it has 3 of the best performances I've seen all year in 2014. And also a very solid directorial job from Bennett Miller. Foxcatcher really excels in those areas, and it's sort of slightly upsetting that the film sort of let me down a few aspects of the story, in that in the slow pacing of the film, and the fact that the film does feel like it drags on slightly. That is unfortunately a letdown for me. Other than that, I think this is a really captivating, really engaging movie. I wouldn't really call it entertaining because it's very dark. It's still entertaining to watch. It's entertaining to watch these performances, but it is a very dark and twisted movie with captivating, utterly captivating, and somewhat shocking performances from our 3 main leads. And I gotta say, this is all going to take their careers way up. They're going way up because of this movie, because they are all incredible. But again, there were a few parts where I was moving around in my chair. I was like, okay, pick up the pacing a little bit. And I am going to be a little harsh on the movie for that reason. Nevertheless, it's still a really good movie, a well-made film, a well-directed film, a well-scored film, well-shot, and completely, utterly well-acted. And that's what I'm going to get into right now, are the performances of the movie. Starting off with Channing Tatum, who, quote, said, this is the, who said, quote, "This is the most challenging role he's ever had to take on," end quote. And this is, Channing Tatum even admitted it himself, he was put to work for this role. He had a lot to go through, not only with, you know, getting his character emotions right and nailing this character, but also in the wrestling scenes. And I think Channing Tatum probably did all or most of his own stunts in the wrestling sequences, which were not only very well choreographed, but well shot as well. Guys, this is by far Channing Tatum's best performance he's ever given. An absolute career best for him. All of the work, all of the time, and all of the effort he put into this movie absolutely paid off, because he's utterly incredible in this film. Just completely shocking at moments. Just Channing Tatum takes you places in this movie you wouldn't expect Channing Tatum to go, and it just completely shocked me. His character slowly breaks, not only mentally, from the stress of this relationship he has with John Du Pont, who I can't wait to talk about, played by Steve Carell. Just, you get to see that digression, not only of that mentality that he has, but also a physical digression, because it starts to affect his physical abilities as a wrestler. And you see that happen as the film unfolds, all because of this twisted, dark friendship, I should say, with John Du Pont, who's just pushing Channing Tatum to his absolute core at moments. And they just have a very, very strained relationship between the two of them. And Channing Tatum pulls it off brilliantly in this movie. Like I said, an absolute career best performance for him. He was, you know, he did good in the beginning, playing an aspiring sort of wrestler, but he's also, at the same time, is a hard ass, but just breaks, and I just love seeing that. Now, getting into Steve Carell, he's going to get all of the Oscar buzz, obviously, because it's, you know, Steve Carell and the transformation he's undergone. But, you know, Channing Tatum, I know he's the main actor. He's the lead, basically, of the film. Is he going to get a Best Actor nomination? I doubt it. Does he deserve consideration? Yes. Does he even deserve a nomination? If it's not too crowded this year, I absolutely feel he does, because he worked his ass off, pretty much, to get this role and nail it, and he did. Steve Carell, on the other hand, you know, you can label him as just the funny guy from The 40-Year-Old Virgin and a whole bunch of other Judd Apatow comedies or whatever. You know, you can label him like that, but he's shown in previous films that he does have a sort of range. He doesn't just stick to comedies and doing comedies. Steve Carell was amazing in Hope Springs as this very serious doctor in Hope Springs, that movie with Meryl Streep. And then just most recently, in the way, way back, not only, he did have some funny, lighthearted moments in that film, but he was also playing the douchey boyfriend of the mother in the film. So he definitely has range. He was good in both of those movies, but this has got to be his best dramatic role to date. This is one of his only dramatic roles he's taken apart from those films I just mentioned. He's incredible. Last year, the best transformation of 2013 went to Matthew McConaughey for Dallas Buyers Club. In this year, in my book, Steve Carell gets the award for the best transformation of an actor in 2014. And that, as I said in the intro, Steve Carell is utterly unrecognizable in this movie. You don't see Steve Carell. You see John Du Pont, a very stoic, serious, cold, dark man who is just becomes more and more twisted as the film progresses. He's completely and utterly emotionless in some moments, and in scenes where he tries to, connect with Channing Tatum or bond with him, he's still this stoic guy. And I know they have him completely made up. They put a bunch of makeup on him. They gave him a lot of prosthetics on his nose to enlarge his nose. But my word, not only did he wow me with his physical transformation and what they did with the makeup and everything and the prosthetics, but he wowed me with his acting. The way he changed his voice, he didn't even sound like Steve Carell. I swear, anyone who'd never heard of the name Steve Carell before, never seen the man before, will go into this movie, watch it, have no idea who Steve Carell actually is. They will be blown away when they see another one of his movies at the transformation he made. He's utterly incredible, one of the best performances of 2014 by far. I couldn't take my eyes off this guy. I mean, it was amazing. And Mark Ruffalo, too. Another almost career best for him. He was incredible as Dave Schultz. Very supportive of his brother, even though they kind of have a little sibling rivalry, slight sibling rivalry. In a few moments, they basically have each other's back for the majority of the film. And Mark Ruffalo was great up until the final few moments of the film. I mean, he was excellent throughout the whole thing. And that is what you're going to remember about Foxcatcher. I don't think you're going to take away from this movie like one of the best screenplays in recent memory or anything like that. It is a very dark and interesting and intriguing story. Apart from that, however, this film is going to forever stick with you for its three leading performances that are three career bests for these three leading actors. And that's what I took away from Foxcatcher. That's what I loved about this film. That's what I'm going to remember about this film. Although this film isn't going to make my top 10 or anything, in terms of performances, I will rave about these three leading roles for the rest of the year and throughout Oscar season, because they are all incredible. They all deserve Oscar consideration. If it's not a crowded year this year, I would love to see that actually happen. Other than that, apart from that fact, I did enjoy this movie. I did have there are moments of this movie that are exciting and shocking and mind-blowing. The final 10 minutes of this movie, my jaw hit the floor, as did my audience, and I was in utter shock at what I was watching on screen. It was amazing. It was an amazing feeling. Despite from that, to get to that payoff, it felt like it took way too long, and that's what I didn't really care for about this film. It dragged in a few moments. It felt not bloated, but it felt drawn out, and there were some scenes that did suffer because of that, because of the slow pacing and the fact this is a very slow building movie. And I like slow building movies, but for me, it just didn't connect with me. It just didn't work with me fully, and that's why I wasn't as huge a fan of Foxcatcher as I wanted to be. Nevertheless, guys, I still definitely recommend you see this film at some point this year for these performances and how incredible they are, and for the fact that it is a well-directed, well-shot movie, excellent cinematography. It's a very dark and gloomy film that I liked. And in the end, guys, I'm going to give Foxcatcher a solid 8.5 out of 10, or a grade of a B. I really enjoyed it, despite those flaws that I had with the film. I still think it is a captivating movie in moments. It's just, here's my problem with the film. It has those really shocking and utterly captivating moments. Other than that, there are those slow moments in between. You're like, all right, come on, you got to pick up the pace a little bit. Then something exciting happens, and then things slow down a little bit, and then the final act happens, and then that's all exciting. So it's just those moments take away from the film and subtracted from my enjoyment and overall how much I liked the film. And that's why I didn't go as high as I did with my rating. Nevertheless, it's very well directed, extraordinarily acted. I'm not even getting into the performances anymore. They're absolutely stunningly incredible. The script is good, not one of the best of the year. It's slow building. That's why, and it's a slow pace. That's why it's still very well written, without a doubt. The dialogue, there are some scenes that are very tense and very harsh and very dark. And there's some very twisted moments in this movie, and I like when the movie does that. I just wish that's how I felt the whole entire film. The score is amazing, and the makeup work on Steve Carell is absolutely incredible. But like I said, it's those slow moments, those long drawn-out moments that took away from my enjoyment of the film. Nevertheless, I still recommend it to you guys, despite those cons I had. I also felt Steve Carell needed to be in the movie more, you know? I think he's a supporting actor. I think he would get nominated for supporting actor if he does. I think I wanted more of him. He was just so intriguing and so messed up, you know, and so emotionless. I just wanted to see more of that character, and we really didn't get enough of him. Nevertheless, guys, 8.5 out of 10 B. What did you guys think of Foxcatcher? If you've seen it already, let me know down below. Sorry to disappoint some of you, but it is still a good movie. I think a lot of you may like it a little bit more than I did. I just was a little upset with the pacing. Other than that, guys, what did you think about it? Let me know down below. Thanks so much for watching my review. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.